Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mountain League Journal. I'm Tom Halley. This week, the major push by New York Senator Chuck Schumer to convince his colleagues in Congress to take steps he says could significantly reduce the amount of illegal fentanyl crossing our borders and causing thousands of overdose deaths every year. The senator came to CVPH Medical Center in Plattsburgh this week to call on the House to join the Senate in declaring fentanyl trafficking a national emergency and pass a provision in the National Defense Bill that would give the president the authority to impose tough sanctions on China and Mexico, the two countries that Schumer says supply and manufacture much of the fentanyl being smuggled into the U.S.
It gives the president emergency powers to put sanctions on China, tough sanctions that will hurt their economy and hurt their jobs unless they stop the flow of these drugs out of China. And we do the same with Mexico. Unless the Mexican government, which it can do, shuts down a lot of these drug labs and makes an effort, they will get sanctions as well. So it's the toughest thing that's been passed to stop the flow of fentanyl here to the North Country, to New York, and throughout America. So we're asking the House to finish the job. And despite all the partisanship in Washington, which is so detrimental so often, this bill was broadly bipartisan.
The House passed its own version of the National Defense Bill back in July, but now that it's passed in the Senate, lawmakers will need to reconcile a compromise that can pass both chambers by the end of the year. Schumer says other legislation passed last year by Congress included billions of dollars in funding that has expanded access to substance abuse treatment. But he says additional steps, including declaring a national emergency, are needed to address the overdose epidemic in New York and across the country, where 83% of the fatal overdoses in the past year involve fentanyl.
We've seen here in Clinton County the devastation that fentanyl can have on a community firsthand.
You can watch the senator's full news conference on our website and YouTube channel. You can also watch the forum we hosted a few months ago with law enforcement leaders and treatment providers on the impact the flow of fentanyl is having on communities in the North Country.
If only identifying deadly amounts of fentanyl were this easy.
A new campaign announced by Governor Hochul 2 weeks ago includes this ad airing on TV stations across New York, encouraging people to reach out to Oasis, the state's Office for Addiction and Substance Abuse, to get free test strips that can show if what's ever being tested contains fentanyl. The state is also giving out free naloxone nasal spray, which can help reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. You can go to the Oasis website to learn more.